What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Plays Live. I'm your host, James Duggan. Joining me is Will Powers, Deep Silver, to show off Kingdom Come Deliverance. The much-anticipated Kingdom Come Deliverance. Reddit will not shut up about this game. And already on the Steam top sellers, but you're going to take us through it.
Yeah, this is a really exciting title for us at Deep Silver and for the guys over at Warhorse Studios in Prague. I'm actually going to pop in the settings real quickly and show you because we're on the PC version of the game. So we have everything cranked up all the way to ultra, draw distance, and everything just to make sure. Let's see, there's one thing I just want to kill real fast, and that's just the show FPS so that we don't have some random number of
Sure. But it should be noted you were playing this on a laptop.
I am playing this on a laptop. This is a beastly Alienware laptop that we're running on. But
a little bit of housekeeping before we get into it. For anybody watching, I will be doing my absolute best to monitor the YouTube chat, the Twitch chat, the IGN.com chat, as well as Twitter. You can tweet at us with the hashtag IGN Plays Live. And all your questions go to Will. I played a little bit last night. I'll answer what I can, but I imagine you have infinitely more experience in the game.
Yeah, so we're just going to jump into it from the very beginning. Start a new save, and let the cutscenes do some of the talking for us.
Yes.
God bless. Same to you. Today's a scorcher. Well, husband, how goes it?
Good. I should get it finished today. Where on earth is Henry? I need him to run some errands.
He was still sleeping when I went out.
At this hour? Blue-blooded idler.
Well, it looks like he was out all evening, drinking like a lord.
Go and get the lazy bones up then. Quick clout round the ear should do it.
Henry! Get up now. There's work to be done.
Get up or I'll come get you up, you sluggerbed.
Hear that? You'd better not vex him. Now get up quick. Your breakfast is on the table. Wait, what's this? Have you been... Oh, Henry. How many times have I told you about fighting?
Oh, it's nothing. It's just a scratch.
You've been at that sword play again, haven't you? You'd better pray your father doesn't get to hear of it. You know how he feels about it.
Oh, don't worry, it wasn't that. I just scratched myself is all.
Well, just don't come crying to me if you really do get hurt. Now get up, you rogue.
All right.
So we're right into gameplay from the game
Fine
that
state
sets a
you're in
nice
this
premise
morning.
for it.
What on earth did you get up to last
One of
night?
the things about RPGs, obviously, is about embodying the character and having it be a pure role-playing game. Because this is a game that takes place in a historical setting, pretty much the framework of the environment, the framework of the plot line is all historically accurate, and they insert you as a fictional character in a point in history. So you play as Henry, the son of a blacksmith, and there is no character customization, but the way that we get around that and having you embody him as a role-playing character is you attune your starting stats
Sure.
right here with how you respond to your mother.
And
So
what are you going to go for straight out of the gate?
I'm gonna go for speechcraft.
Wow, okay.
So I like to be able to have more opportunities of how I want to approach situations instead of necessarily coming at them guns or swords blazing
Sure.
in this instance. So we were chatting at the tavern last
I
night.
don't think I have ever chosen speech or charisma. In any RPG in the history of video games, I went, last night I immediately picked Vitality and Strength. But hey, that's, I mean, play the way you want to, I guess.
Well, I hope he didn't fill your head with nonsense. Well, I've got a
So
feeling
the
there's
way the
something
leveling
telling
system
me.
works is
It's
there's
connected
your
with
base
that
stats, which are
scratch
in
on your
charisma,
hand,
strength,
and that
speechcraft,
suspicious
etc.
looking character
And
with
the more you
sword
level those
turned
up,
in
there are
town
certain points
recently.
where if you get enough ticks, then it progresses your main level. So my mother's going in on me again about about learning sword fighting. My father's a blacksmith. There's a whole plot line here that's beginning to unfold. It's a bit shady
All
at this
right,
point.
How old is
say
Henry?
so.
Henry is
Don't mean to pry, but you know your
27
politics
-ish.
He's the same age as I am, and
Yeah.
man, he has barely gotten his butt out of the house.
Yeah, I know. He's
Especially for a historical sense. I would imagine he's lived the majority of his life at this
He's
point,
not
but
happy.
I guess we'll find
Yesterday
out.
You promised him you'd help finish that sword.
All right, so-
We have a request to turn game audio up and mic down a bit. Mitch, thank you.
He's too proud to complain, but he needs your help, Henry.
All right, so plotline here. Your father, who is
Good.
the blacksmith in Silver Scallots,
He always says it's an easy when
is
there's a
commissioned
storm.
to craft
wrong
a
with
sword for
He's
Sir
looking like
Radzak,
such
who's
a
the
nice
lord of
day.
the area. And I'm going to end up helping him with that. But before I do that, so I have full control over everything now. This is my room. I'm going to
Eat that cheese.
Yeah,
Eat that cheese.
I'm going to grab the cheese and save it for later.
All right, fair enough.
Because
But look, you're hungry.
I know.
What are
So
you gonna eat?
there's a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna do some maintenance right now.
This is a well-provisioned house for this time period.
Yeah. There's apples. There's fruit. Fruit would be extremely expensive at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and lentil soup is some nice fiber.
I'm a big fan of lentil soup.
So you eat from the pot. There are various places where you can just directly eat from the pot, or you can add food to it. But
I noticed you can go into other people's houses and eat from their pot.
Yes.
which I don't know if I would recommend that in real life.
Yeah, that actually plays in the storyline and plays into how you want to approach situations, because not only can you eat from their food, but you can also add ingredients to their food in their kitchen, and that allows you to, if you want to, poison them, because every NPC is running on a day-night cycle, so they're going in between. They need to maintain their health. They need to maintain their tiredness, as well as their nutrition. So they're going to be eating on the schedule as well. So if you poison their food, they'll eventually die. So that can come definitely into useful if you're invading a band camp or something like that. You can plan ahead and use stealth instead of necessarily coming in
Sure.
with a sword. So I'm going to show you something pretty cool here This is actually
This is really cool.
This is the hand-drawn map. This is
I like that a lot.
This is of the town I'm in, so I can zoom out and show the world map here. This is a area in Bohemia, modern-day Czech Republic. It's about 43 kilometers south of Prague, which is where the studio Warhorse Studios is. And this is an actual 4 kilometer by 4 kilometer area. You can see this on Google Maps. It's a real area that there was this conflict in during 1403. So if you zoom in on this specific area of Skalitz, then it changes into this town map. And you can see over here, there's mining over there.
That man has 3 arms.
He is very...
He's a demon! We have to find him and banish him from this safe and nice land, otherwise.
Yeah. Left-handed people and 3-armed people are definitely demons at this point in history. But you can see from the hand-drawn map of what's going on around the town. There's farming to the north. There's mining to the south. It's called Silver Skalitz because it's a mining town. You saw that in the cutscene intro. But the way that this cool map for the world map works is when you explore a new area, these clouds disappear. It almost seems very Monty Python-esque.
Yes.
For people that wouldn't know, but that's
straight out of the tapestry.
Yeah, that's because...
Are there going to be people's butts with horns coming out at some point, or no? That's anybody who hasn't seen, God, all the millennials will not get that. I hope you've seen the Holy Grail. So you're about to go talk to your father. He's a very no-nonsense individual, Hank Hill-esque, I would go as far to say.
Yes, and Bobby has been sleeping all night. Exactly.
And got drunk last night.
At least you're up. That's a start. Anyway, we've a lot of work to do today. I'm finishing the sword for Sir Radzig, and I need your help.
With what?
I'm running out of charcoal. Run to the market and buy a bag from the charcoal
So
burner.
he's essentially going to give you a list of tasks to do.
Yeah,
Each of them is important because it teaches you mechanics around the game. So this is a tutorial area, but it's meant to teach you about negotiation, bargaining, talking to people, as well as timeline. There's one of the things that you have to get is a pitcher of ale for your father, and if you take too long, then it actually warms up. It's no longer cool from the cellar. So you have to... yeah, exactly.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Henry!
You can't get a warm beer. No one likes that.
I'm going to tan your hat. What?
The chamberlain at the castle has the cross guard.
So he gives you a laundry list of things to do, but like each of these things that you're doing on this quest is basically introducing you to a mechanic or a series of mechanics within the game.
Correct.
Dialogue, combat, if you should so choose it, as I found out. I thought, we'll see. You'll see. I mean, you chose speech, so I'm not really sure if you're going to get into it, but I certainly got into an altercation with one of the people involved in this quest. I thought I was going to knock him out in one punch, but that did not happen.
Yeah, so it goes back to this being an RPG. You can choose how you want to approach a variety of situations. And I'm going to do some things that aren't necessarily the standard approach.
I thought you were going to push your father into the furnace for a hot
I
second.
was not going to. He is essential in these beginning quests. So I'll pull up the map here, and you can see there are 5 different things that I have to do right now. There are different markers on it. I have what looks like a little gnome or piece that's going to move around with me, and I'll do the one that's closest here right now. So I need to pick up the crossguard that's been delivered to these guards, and then I need to deliver that back to my father so he can fully assemble the sword. But everything here introduces you to the environment, the world around you, and you can tell that these guys don't really think that highly of Henry. He's not necessarily this all-powerful hero in this world. He's pretty much a lowly peasant.
We're forging a sword for Sir Radzig. And the chamberlain
I'm going to start taking some questions from the chat, and where was that one? We had a question about release date. It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can check this game out tomorrow.
Beautiful work. I've never seen anything so fun.
So they're now referring to the crossguard right of the sword.
Just make sure you don't botch it.
When did I ever botch anything?
Where shall I start?
Shut up and give me what.
So
I want, or I'll kick your
again,
ass
one of the
this
cool
evening.
things about this is, I mean, originally this was a Kickstarter that came out years ago, but the team is really focused on historical accuracy, to the point where they even have a full-time historian on staff to cross-check all different elements of the game, whether it's the fighting style, whether it's how people talk, how people interact with each other in the environment. So everything is cross-referenced with a full-time historian.
So you're telling me a historian has found employment?
Yes.
There's at least one employed historian on planet Earth right now.
That is true. So you can actually see her work. I'm going to go in here, exit full screen, and you can go into this codex. And
oh wow!
So there's all sorts of notes that she's taken to as reference materials for how the 1403, how the Middle Ages were at this specific time in this specific place. And instead of just throwing away her notes, they decided to add it to the game as supplemental material as a codex. So there's all these hand-drawn artworks that accompany the historical notes. So it's really something that's really interesting and supplemental information if you're interested in it. If you're not interested in it at all, you can just skip over it, and the game unfolds and the plot unfolds as it would regardless. But the more you learn about it, the more it makes sense, and you'll see different codexes unlock as you progress in the story.
Sure.
So we have the cross guard already. I'm going to run down here into town. And one of the things I have to do is there is a drunkard that owes me some money. And I need that money in order to buy charcoal to finish the cross guard of the sword. So
got to get the fisticuffs ready.
Potentially.
Maybe. Yeah.
But I leveled up Speechcraft, so I can also try to talk to him into giving me money.
Interested to see how that plays out, reasoning with a...
I am too, because...
He's got a fantastic bird's nest up there.
Oh,
that is absolutely beautiful. What is it? Is he like cultivating some kind of quail egg there or something?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely exactly what you're saying. It's a bird's nest. That's what medieval bird's nests looked like, and they're definitely for harvesting and gathering eggs.
Interesting.
So, Kunesh is this drunkard that owes me money for at least a month back due. I'm interested in seeing how this plays out too, because it's RNG-based system. So I have a percentage chance if I'm going to win this Speechcraft. So we will see if it works out.
The chat is demanding blood.
They're demanding
a showing of violence and blood.
They will,
and I think this gentleman. I mean, you specialize in Speechcraft, and what's a cooler thing to say? Pay for the tools at least, or pay the laterals.
I mean,
there we go.
Fine.
There we go.
I gave it.
It's a hard playthrough to get into a fight. It's a harder playthrough to specialize in speech and then get into a fight. We'll see.
Wow, he is very angry because I chose.
He's a vulgar.
I chose There Will Be Blood.
All right, so there's the persuasion system, and basically you have these three different things.
These are different
in addition to
stats.
bribery.
And if you see the different icons on the bottom, you can see that the one on the left, the mouth, is your Speechcraft, the one that looks like a little Pac-Man. The heart with the crown is nobility. It's how well dressed you are. That's going to go down if you're dirty. Because your clothes show wear. Depending on what you do, you can maintain and bathe to have that go back up and dress fancier like a lord. And then your kind of your physical prowess, your intimidation is the last one. So,
but you don't really know what you're checking against here at this point.
Exactly. So you can, if you do some other things, if you talk to other people around town, if you know this person, if you level up your stats in a certain way, you can understand what you're up against, so you can see what your odds are.
Sure.
So I have very low intimidation. So let me see if my debts can be paid.
Look, I know things aren't easy.
There's another fight.
Your wife ran off.
Yeah, no.
What kind of way is that to start collecting a debt?
It's no wonder you're
booze is dear these days, and your wife, you're drunk. Your wife left you. You got nothing going on.
You said it's hard times.
But that worked.
It did work. Yeah.
He's got a very low self-worth.
It kind of worked, which is interesting because it worked in the sense of succeeding in the quest, but it didn't work in the sense that he didn't have any money. So actually, if you beat him up, then he gives you his key, and then you can take this axe right here, which now it's stealing.
You're stealing. Okay, so wait, so you spoke to him, and he said, I don't have anything.
Yep.
But you're still leaving empty-handed at this point.
Correct.
Which probably is not going to do.
It will
because
not
you need
do.
to buy charcoal, you need to buy booze for your dad.
So I need to find another way to get money. So I'm going to punch a couple chickens. Come here.
It's accomplishing.
Wait.
I think he's a bit below your reach.
Oh, come here. Oh, that one's.
This is that. We found the invulnerable chicken.
Yep.
Or potentially.
Come on. Oh, where's... All right, these chickens are not... There are other chickens that are going to get slaughtered. Chat's going to call PETA on me. I know it.
The patch you installed may have fixed some things, but now the chickens are impervious.
So we're going to kill some chickens. We're going to grab some things around town that I can use and essentially use those things to sell them and negotiate prices.
Interesting.
So that's...
You could also fight Kunesh.
I could.
I think the chat, I mean, it's just been, they've been spamming blood.
Don't worry.
Blood. Kill him.
There will be blood.
All right.
I promise. There's another fight up here that's it's way more interesting. I don't want to beat up a drunk guy.
I did.
I have way more self-worth than that. Or
Fair enough.
the character I'm role-playing does.
He's eloquent. He's relatively well-dressed considering his social status.
He had to lure his cousin Prokop into a trap.
So this is really essential from a plot standpoint.
Army of Tatars and besiege Kuttenberg.
Why not? What is this Wenceslas for a king? The empire is falling asunder in his hands. The German counts elected Ruprecht of the Palatinate as king because your Wenceslas would not go to their deeds even.
German counts, traitors.
Now even the Pope
I'll be with you, Henry.
I'm with you, Matthew.
So this was what there was to do.
Yeah,
at this
there's
time
a
in the
pub.
1400s.
There's about 10 buildings in town. One of them is a pub. And what's happening here is two different citizens are arguing about what's happening. Essentially, there is a civil war happening because Wenceslas the Idol, was his nickname, has taken the throne from his father when his father passed, and now the king of Hungary is invading to try to restore order.
Sure.
Air quotes on that one.
Right.
And by doing so, he's
pretty
burning
imperialistic capacity, right?
He's burning the countryside, and you are essentially in the way.
And so Wenceslas is also very divisive because his father was such a good ruler, and in contrast, he is doing absolutely nothing.
He is such a bad ruler, he didn't even show up to his own coronation.
Classic move.
Yep.
Too busy with the wine.
And the ladies. Yep.
Yes, but Goodman Deutsch. This is pointless.
So essentially, Goodman Deutsch here is speaking treasonous behavior.
Sure.
Deutsch has gone too far.
And
Wenceslas is our right.
One thing that I want to show you here is how the plot unfolds and allows you to choose how you want to interact.
Doesn't he, Fritz?
So they're going to come up with a plan of how to get some retribution against Goodman Deutsch.
Do you want to end up in the pillory? Don't listen to Fritz. I've got a better idea. Deutsch was talking such shit, it made me think of that huge parliament. You know, the one right next to his freshly whitewashed house.
You think we should redecorate for him? Count me in.
What a crack plan these guys have devised. There was so little to do in the 1400s that the best way to entertain yourself if you're a 27-year-old is to pick up turds and throw them at a house.
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than egging a house now.
Oh, but Henry's a little bit reluctant.
He's reluctant, and for the sake of showing off how things actually work, you can participate or you can choose to not participate, and the plot will play out differently.
Sure.
Depending on what
so I
you do.
chose not to participate because it seemed a little bit ridiculous that I would waste time throwing turds at a house, but I do want to see how it plays out if I do participate.
Okay. So one of the things you can do, and it all depends on what order you do things in. If you participate with them, I'll do it, but I need your help in return.
Interesting. That option was not available to me.
It's because you hadn't spoken to Kunesh yet.
Okay.
And you can use them to help beat up Kunesh.
I actually just straight up beat up Kunesh myself.
Yeah.
It took a significant amount of time. I had not really mastered the combat system at that point.
All right, I'll do it. But then you have to give me a hand with something.
Oh, Henry's just a stand-up individual, isn't he?
Kunesh owes money to father and doesn't want to...
See, you can do that. And like I said, there are multiple approaches that you can take because there are different quests that teach all these different mechanics in this opening area. There's a combat area that teaches you swordplay and teaches you the basis of combat. If you do that before you deal with Kunesh, then you're much more better equipped.
Okay.
So we need to.
All right, so you're gonna go throw turds at a house and beat up a drunk old man. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I mean, this is
the moral fiber of Henry, and he's the chicken's still proving invulnerable.
I am very upset at these chickens right now.
You may need a bow and arrow to best them.
We'll figure that out in a moment because I want those chickens because those are worth a lot of money if I sell them.
And you can just go around stealing people's chickens?
I can go around beating up people's chickens, yes.
All right, we've walked all the way across town, which happens to be about 30 feet in this instance. Not the largest of cities.
Doing this or not?
But that is a nice washed wall we have there.
The coast is clear.
Correct.
Whose turds are they throwing? Hopefully not their own.
It's the manure for the garden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Manure is basically dirt, depending upon how old it is.
And that's a problem?
I used to live on a farm.
Aye, it is. Henry, you gotta lure her away somehow.
Why me?
I would say it's a modern-day Tom Sawyer, but it's
Yeah.
Tom Sawyer from 400 years prior.
Sure.
All right, so there's an issue, is that we can't throw turds at a house when Goodman Deutsch's wife is right here. So
What do you want,
I need to use my intellect and get her away.
I just went by the tavern and your husband was in there talking nonsense. I thought someone should take him home before he gets himself in trouble.
What sort of nonsense?
Well, he kept saying that Sigismund was right and King Wenceslas is a drunkard. That sort of thing.
So the First Amendment's not really a thing now in this time, obviously, and speaking in that way would be seen as treason and be a punishable offense.
I just hope I can catch him.
Pretty serious.
Yeah.
His wife obviously wants what's best for him. And so Henry, being the stand-up lad that he is, has warned her of it, so he can throw turds at her house.
Exactly. Let's regroup with the lads, and we're gonna go over here and get
Hank
some
Hill
revenge.
would be so disappointed. Ah, Bobby, you did what? I just took a power washer to that wall. Ah. Got some manure flies, classic.
Yeah.
With his bare hands, wadding up the manure. A nice squishy manure, so pretty fresh. It's gonna leave a nice good stick. There we go. Starting to see those splats coming in here. And of course back, if we can remember, in Season 1 of the turd throwing at a wall, really heated, but this time Henry's coming in with a totally different approach. Back to you.
I feel like we need scouts for a baseball game.
Yes.
To judge his technique.
I was shoutcasting the... Oh, you're in trouble. Isn't that the guy who's going to teach you swordplay?
No, it's a different guy. This is Deutsch's son, Hans.
It's like your old man was saying in the tavern about that traitor Sigismund. We're just doing.
I don't know. Yeah, there's poop on his wall, but you had to pick up the poop with your bare hands. So I wonder who's really at a loss here.
Yeah, but
I'd
no,
like to see you try.
this guy's gonna poop on his head.
What are you doing here? Jack? Hanging out with this poxy Deutscher? Maybe you'd like
That's
to
your
try out
extremely
the latest
intelligent
German
friend?
fashion.
Yep, he's got good aim though.
Nicely done.
So that's obviously gonna just make him a little bit more aggressive.
Can you throw turds in real combat in this game?
Well, it's gonna initiate the combat.
Okay, fair enough.
All right,
Good
so
dodge.
now it's introducing me to the combat mechanic.
Okay.
So I'm gonna hold on the screen for 2 seconds so we can see just the nuances of the combat mechanic. Essentially, it's a 5-point system. So the 5 points being the 5 essentially limbs of the body, the head being a limb. So you can aim at the left shoulder, right shoulder, left hip, right hip, and head, as well as straight on. And that's going to come into play regardless of what weapon you're using. And because there's a physical collision model in the game, that means that it's very important where you hit your enemy. So if, for example, there's one really strong enemy later in the game who's wearing this full plate armor, he counters all your hits, but he's not wearing a helmet. If you hit him in the head with a sharp or blunt weapon, you can almost take him out in one hit, because it doesn't matter what you're wearing on the rest of your body. It's a physical collision model, meaning that the weapon you're using, based on where it hits them physically on their body, is going to do damage based on what armor is on that piece of their body.
Sure. All right.
So
See it in action. Of course, you were unequipped at this point.
Yep.
And just,
so I'm going to lock
just
in
let the fist
onto
goes.
him. I'm going to punch him in the face.
That worked.
Yep.
And then your
now I gotta
buddy
kick
is
him.
around the flank as well.
Yeah, so we were just... Oh, I punched my buddy. Oh, no.
It's all gone wrong. So it's a target-based combat system, but you can unlock and lock on to that innocent bystander as an example.
I wouldn't want to.
You gotta have more fun with this, Will. This is what's fun about this historical fantasy universe. Okay, so your friend has kind of decided not to help you anymore. Now you're attacking this gentleman.
Yep. All right, so...
And is that
that's Hans.
Okay, I thought that was Goodman Deutsch's
so,
wife's coming back.
she just warned us that a catch bolt is coming to get us. That's the cops.
Okay.
The 5-0 has just been alerted.
How many cops are in this village of 10 people?
There's a lot of guards, and
there do seem to be a lot of armed guards.
Yeah, so that is a guard, but because there are no telephones or anything,
he must be blind.
He doesn't know that
if you had poor eyesight at this point in time, you were just kind of screwed.
He doesn't know why we're running because there's no radios, there's no communication for him to know. So we avoided the catch bowl. If you're caught by him, it doesn't necessarily mean you go to jail. If you do go to jail, there's various ways to get out of it. You can pay him off. You can use your speechcraft and negotiate with him and tell him that you were only doing the right thing because Deutsch was being treasonous, and he sides with you if your speechcraft is high enough. So again, it's all about how you want to roleplay in this game.
We have a question here from Red Bud Music Studio who asks if there is a hide the HUD option.
A hide the HUD option? For combat, there is not to my knowledge.
And then essentially in general.
Essentially, I mean, the HUD is just it's your health bar on the bottom as well as the compass on the top. So the HUD's extremely minimal in this game in the first place.
Cool.
And that's done on purpose because since it's an RPG, since it's all about historical accuracy and immersion, they're trying to be as non-intrusive as possible.
Got it. We have another question here from... Where did that go? NASA asks... no, I'm sorry. Lily asks... God, I'm sorry, this chat is going so fast. Anyway, the question was, are we playing on a PS4 or PC? We're actually currently playing on a PC.
Yes.
A laptop at that.
But the game, so we're playing on a laptop, but we're playing with settings on very high. But the game is obviously available. It's on PS4, it's on Xbox One, it's on PC as well, and it has PS4 Pro as well as Xbox One X support.
Cool.
All right, so let's talk to these guys. See if they can help me.
All right, so you threw the turds, you got into a nice little brawl.
I talked my way out of Kunesh, but now I talked them into helping me beat him up.
You sneaky snake. I have to say, I thought that your speechcraft and you letting Kunesh off easy was you being an altruistic person, but you're actually just being a very sly, backstabbing individual who's going to rally his troops to then kick the crap out of this poor drunk old man who can't even afford to pay for nails.
It was 1v1. Now it's 4v1. And I need the money to buy some charcoal.
So that's true. You don't want to disappoint your Hank Hill.
Yeah,
You'd be very disappointed.
He doesn't... the problem is, if he used propane and propane accessories to do blacksmithy, then...
He'd be fine, but he needs charcoal.
Exactly.
Get out here, you old goat. I've something to show you.
Oh, man.
This is not going to turn out well for him.
What the fuck are you here for? You want me to take a whip to you or call a catch pole?
Well, chat, you wanted blood. I imagine there will be a bit of blood here.
Here we go.
All right, let's throw turds to the house and beat up this drunk old man. There's a knee to the face. And pushing him into his back.
Oh, there it is.
Oh. There we go.
And we leveled up on armed combat.
Hey, there you go.
So.
Enough! I give up. That's what you want. It's not much.
So.
It's all I have.
I have to say that was a lot faster than when I fought him myself.
Yeah,
At least I fought with honor.
Oh,
At least I warned him I was going to fight, and he kept persisting.
I did warn him. So now I'm stealing all of his stuff. Not only
Which actually hilariously happens to be the axe, the hammer, and the nails.
Exactly.
His only possessions were what your father lent him on credit. And this is his house, which is extremely different from yours, obviously.
Oh, I'm going in the wrong area now. But
there's not much. There's like a pig pen in the middle of his living room lobby. I don't know what you call that.
Yeah. I don't think that this is big enough to be called a lobby. So yeah, we're we're checking out his house. I could poison his pot if I
You can
wanted
eat from
to.
his pot. I probably wouldn't eat from his pot personally.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have anything.
Do you have poison?
What
are you going to put in there?
I do not right now.
Did you keep one manure chunk? You could just...
This is the chest I was looking for. So I have he gave me his key. I'm going to take the hammer and I'm going to take the nails, take all of his worldly possessions, leave him bleeding and ashamed, sitting down, probably going to just lose his house. He's drunk, his wife left him, now he's ashamed.
And his house is in shambles. Hey.
Yeah, you know.
This is the medieval world.
Yeah, life comes at you fast, Kunesh. You should have given me the money. So what I'm going to do now is I still have let me look and see what my objectives are. I have a couple things I still need to do. So I need a bag of charcoal.
Yep.
I need to... this is learn combat, learn sword fighting,
right.
and this is buy ale at the tavern.
Got it.
I'm not going to buy ale yet because I don't want it to get warm.
Be cold.
So
need a cold brewski for your pops.
I'm going to come in here and I'm going to talk to the shopkeep.
Yep.
And this is where Speechcraft really comes in handy. So I'm going to go over to sell.
We had a question, while this is happening, we had a question from Cyborg Man asking if there's any multiplayer.
There's not multiplayer. This is strictly single-player, story-driven RPG.
Cool.
So I'm going to sell all of that. That's supposed to get me 6.1. I need 5 to buy all the charcoal.
Okay, you sold all that stuff. And
well, no. I put it in the basket.
And you can barter after the fact.
So I'm going to haggle now.
Nice.
Let's talk about the price.
There's a presumptuous tone I have
there. The Speechcraft coming in.
Excuse me, ma'am. Let's talk about that
These prices will not do, peasant.
All right, so you can see the face on the bottom of that meter. That's how happy she is with me currently.
Okay.
If you make her too upset, then the deal won't fly.
Right.
So I'm gonna put it like right about 6.8. She's gonna counter, and I want to end up at about 6.5.
Okay. For anybody who's ever bought or sold anything on Craigslist,
a nice
here's how you do it.
Just lower your demands a little and we'll agree.
So predictable.
6.3. Ooh, the low ball.
Oh yeah, she's.
But you kind of went in there with a high price.
We've come to an agreement.
Okay,
there we
you
go.
got what you wanted.
Nailed it. And all that negotiation and bartering is based on your Speechcraft level. So I have 6.5, which is pretty good for this point in the game. I'm going to exit out of here and want to show you, because I leveled up my unarmed combat.
You did. By beating up that drunk old man.
I did.
That's right.
Yes.
Who could forget?
So now that I did that, I leveled up my supplemental skills enough that my main level has leveled up. And once you do that, you can choose...
These traits?
These are perks that you can unlock.
Manly odor. What is that?
So I'm glad you asked. It upgrades my charisma for attracting women, but lowers my stealth.
That's interesting. So you have 50% more charisma when talking to women.
Yes.
When dirty. But people are going to smell you.
Yep.
Mile off. That's great. I like that a lot.
Depending on what style of play you want, if you want to do stealth, very bad perk to unlock. So what I'm going to do here is actually do the ascetic, which is going to make food last longer in my belly.
Sure.
Because if you're hungry, then your strength is reduced and all your stats are reduced, and that just
seems very logical.
So that's a really good stat for early game. And you can see over here. Let me close.
Also, it's worth noting that when I fought Kanesh, I got all bloody and had to wash off in his disgusting trough, and my clothes were still kind of tattered.
Right.
But yours are immaculate because you recruited
a small army
to destroy him.
And yeah, it's interesting that you know that, because if you're beat up, if you have blood on you and you don't wash off, then everyone you talk to is going to note that. They're going to say, "Oh my God, what happened to you?"
Sure.
And then it's going to impact your speech. So let's start.
Cool. So while you're talking with this guy buying the charcoal, we have a lot of questions about beards.
Yes.
Henry appears to have the kind of facial hair that I do, which is unfortunate for him, because I couldn't grow a mustache if I tried. It would just look terrible. But a lot of people want to know if you can grow a beard.
We do not have CD Projekt Red-esque dynamic beard growth.
No beard growth confirmed. Henry will always be just a little bit stubbly.
Yeah,
5 o'clock shadow.
he's half the man that he used to be. All right, so we have the charcoal here. We're gonna haggle with the charcoal burner real quickly because we have enough money, but I want enough money so that I can gamble.
Okay.
Actually, we have way more than enough money. Let's bring him down to. I'll do this, and I want to settle on 2-3.
What do you say to this?
He's gonna say
now, just a little more, and we have a deal.
This jerk.
Oh, he wants 2-3 already. All right, I'll be nice to him because that way it maintains. Oh, I'm an idiot. I only bought 5 pieces.
Whoops.
That I was right. It was 5.
Whoops.
Yep. All right. Let's continue trading. Brutal.
All right, so without getting too into the weeds here, I want to, for the chat's sake, YouTube chat in particular, I don't know if this is a sentiment that is echoed on IGN and Twitch. They're quite enamored with Henry's mother. They think she's a very good-looking lady. But, of course, you can only play as Henry, so sorry, guys.
Well, they haven't even met Bianca.
Oh, Henry is, that's right, Henry is involved.
Henry's last.
That's a sum I can live with.
We'll see.
Well,
I have a feeling they will not be interested. But we also have questions about when your armor gets damaged.
Yes.
If you can repair it, how that works. Does that bring down like the maximum durability, or what's the process there?
So I mean, there's with armor and with your weapons, you have a grindstone. You need to maintain sharpness and durability of them. So it's really important that you consistently maintain them because you have your just like your stats of tiredness and nutrition. You have to maintain that of your equipment. So what's really interesting, if you go without sleep for too long, since this is all in first person, your eyelids start to get heavy, and then you see blinking, and you lose a lot of sight over some of the screen. That's kind of a similar mechanic that's implemented with first person in helmet cam, because obviously it's medieval times, 1403 Bohemia. If you put on a helmet like a nose helm or a full helm, then you lose sight of certain areas of your peripherals, and it's shown on screen. All right, so we're gonna sit down. We're gonna try to
and do some gambling before the
sword
fighting.
We're gonna play some dice.
All right.
I am not good at this game.
BO is a perk, asks Lily. Yes, it can be.
BO is a perk.
In the proper context. You can't just be smelly. You have to be smelly and suave.
All right. So, we want...
Those are tiny dice.
We want 1s and we want 5s, and we
stones.
got a lot of 1s and 5s.
Oh,
so
look at
this
that.
is good. This is very good.
So you're basically choosing which ones to keep and which
ones to keep. I got 600. It's first person to... so basically the simple mechanics of this game. I keep those. I want 1s and 5s, and actually I have enough pairs. No, that one doesn't work. So I want 1s and 5s. I have enough pairs that I can hold on to these. And if I re-roll the other 2, I want another 1 or another 5. If I don't get those, I lose everything. If I do get those, I get more points. So this is a really good score for first roll, so I'm going to score and pass it over. Take my 600.
So first guy gets?
First person to 2,000. He's going to keep
finished.
Yeah, so
300. So you're in a good spot.
And he held that, so he was happy with that one. But I think we're going to... Ooh, brutal.
Yep. Well, there's a 5 over there.
Yeah, 1s and 5s. We're going to score and roll. Roll again. So keep those off the side. Re-roll the 4. I want some more money here. Keep that 1. And re-roll the... I'm feeling lucky here. Come on. I see a 1. Perfect. So take that and score and pass. We're almost halfway there.
At what part in this game do you throw turds at his house?
At his house? If he beats me, I'm going to throw turds at his house.
You're going to get your cronies and go turd his house and then beat him up.
Oh, we got
what a wonderful bunch you are.
We got a lot of 3s here.
You have a lot of 3s. You're
No,
going to keep that as a pair?
We can't do the 2s. Okay. I can take the 5 and re-roll those other 2. I'm feeling lucky here. But the reason I'm showing this off is because I wanted to talk quickly about the achievements and trophies in this game.
Sure.
That's double 1s? Heck yeah. All right, so score and pass. 1,500. We're almost there. there's an achievement for winning a bunch of money for gambling.
Oh,
he found the catch
you
pole
got
found
caught. You got caught after all that.
Oh, after all that, the catch pole found me.
You should have thought twice about what you would do.
And he messed up your perfect score too.
I was in the middle
That
of that
was
game.
funny.
All right, I don't have the money to do this.
I mean, your prestige or whatever it is actually pretty high over there. And I feel he strikes me as a red-blooded bohemian.
All right,
and
let's
when
try it. All
people
right.
talk trash about his leader.
I'm not going to be able to beat up a guard at this point with my fists because he has a sword.
But
so let's see. Fail.
There's surely no way to treat one of Sir Radzig's men.
Oh no.
I dread to think what he'll do when he
Oh, I might end up in jail.
Fairy tales on someone else.
Oh.
All right, I'm running, guys. We're abandoning all my money.
You're giving up your dice.
I'm giving up my money in the dice. This took a quick turn.
You could surrender down there.
I could.
The combination.
I could.
I mean, I love the idea that you're running from, like, the police of your town, and your town is like 400 feet by 400 feet.
All right, yeah, we're gonna surrender. We're gonna surrender.
Oh, you got a good, good jab in
Sorry,
though.
I'm surrendering. They have swords and bows.
Fair enough.
This is bad.
He does like pointing at you.
Don't like that around here, my boy.
All right, I don't have.
This guy's super hardcore. He's got an axe embedded in his stomach.
All right, let's.
Oh,
see, the price went up though. It more than tripled.
I have a secret
It was
task.
at 80. All right,
if you pull that off.
Well, my speechcraft. This is my thing here. Oh no!
You're gonna have to save scum this. What are you gonna do? You can't even.
It won't end well for you.
Ha ha! You'd make a stuffed bird laugh.
Oh, so the great thing about this game is learning the language of the time. So there's so many different idioms and phrases that are really good. So I'm going to prison.
Great. Your dad's gonna be absolutely
good thing I didn't get the ale.
Oh, Henry, what did you do? Oh my God, you did what? You threw turds in a man's house and beat up a drunk old man, and then he went to prison.
See, this is what I get for gambling. I made
it in there.
Oh man,
this is where. Let's be honest though. This is where Henry belongs in your playthrough. He is the epitome of evil.
Well, I wanted to just convince my friends to do things and just stand on the side and not take part.
I'm sure we all have our motives for our crimes and group beatings, but this is somebody said it best in the chat. Who was it? You can't run from justice.
Yeah. So this is all.
Oh, you accomplished nothing. Oh goodness.
This is all.
And
going
having
horribly.
played this, I know exactly what's happening outside.
I've actually never had this happen. So what's happening here is the town is being sacked and burned right now, and I'm in prison. So this is an example of how the plot progresses regardless of where you are. So you can choose to be whoever you want in this world, and the events of the world will unfold around you, and you still have to maintain choosing.
You died in jail.
I died. I completely died.
You can be whoever you want, but you die in jail.
Yeah, if you're a scumbag who beats people up and gets caught
drunken beater
and can't convince the police to let you go, then you get burned alive in jail.
I can explain everything, Dad, okay? I was throwing turds at this guy's house. We went and beat up Kunesh. I got a posse. And then I was playing dice. I was just minding my own business, gambling, playing dice, and a cop comes out of nowhere.
So I've never had that happen.
So now you're back at the turd throwing.
Right. I can skip over this part. So and we can go ahead and beat up these guys again.
Sure. Then we get to fight Kunesh again.
Well,
which I take some amount of joy in. Let's be honest. He does owe money.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, this guy
is teeing off on that guy. And here comes your hyper-intelligent, wide-jawed friend, and he is down for the count.
So, and this guy's 3-on-1.
So, so he just went into like kind of a tired, crouched state.
I'm not killing them.
Sure.
Exactly. All right. So she's warning me that the catch pole is on the way.
The catch pole. I'll give this to the catch pole. He does not give up.
Yeah. He.
Hey,
He dogged you all the way around the village.
I
and found you
should
playing
not
dice.
be in public.
Yep.
After running from the police, I should take lessons.
That is so funny. It would be very funny if we progressed to the end of this game and he finally caught up to you in like the final moments. You're about to be anointed a knight or something. He's like, I found you. You threw tears at that house.
But yeah, this I wasn't anticipating that happening. I've never had that happen. It caught me off guard, but it's good because it plays into what I want to talk about of how the systems and everything progress around you depending on how you want to roleplay your character, which is super cool. And yeah, we're not going to stay in public now.
Okay. Are you gonna? You'll have enough money to pay for everything, even if you don't gamble, right?
Right. I was being greedy because I'd already gotten everything I needed. So I'd gotten all the charcoal. I can
just showing us your best characteristics here on IGN Plays Live.
Yeah. Jeez. Well, I'm also showing off because of the physics modeling of the game. Look, we can vault over things. All right. I want to punch chickens.
You really want to punch a chicken? I don't know if chicken punching is supported in this build anymore. It might have to be a day one patch scenario.
Yeah, jeez. It was something I was doing yesterday.
You know, you can punch this beaten old man. Life has just thrown him
totally. He is down. I punched the chicken. There it is.
You punched it so hard, all of its feathers came off and immediately became cooked.
There it is. It's not cooked. No, it's still raw.
Okay, it's still raw.
But if I like dragon punched him so much that different game.
Indeed.
All right. So we're going to do this. We are going to beat up Kunesh again. Make sure that we're not staying in public. Quickly sell everything to the vendors. Quickly buy the charcoal.
Meet up with your girlfriend.
Meet up with my girlfriend. Get some beer from her.
Go back and see the chat's favorite, your mother.
Actually, no. I still have to do the combat.
Oh, you do.
Actually, so we're gonna skip.
The chat will not shut up about your mom.
True, but I'm
We're going to see my mother. Don't worry. She is. All right. Nice job at Deutsch's place. Actually, see, I'm not going to use them to beat up Kunesh.
You're just going to do it yourself?
No, we're good.
Oh.
That plot line's closed. So I don't need them because...
Well, but then what are you going to get money with?
I'm going to sell some chickens, remember?
Oh.
Now that I have the chickens...
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to take Kunesh's chickens.
So you're just going to punch the feathers off a chicken.
And I'm
obliterating it.
Yes.
Destroying its entire life force in a single hit, as well as stripping all the feathers off its body.
There was another chicken.
There was. He's hiding from you.
There he
saw
is.
What you did.
Yeah, he's seen what I've done to his chicken friends. You might even say that he's playing chicken.
There you go. There you go.
All right, so we have enough food.
How many chickens do you need to break even from your...
I think chickens sell for 2 each, which is really strong because I only need 5. And then I have cheese and the lentil soup and the apples that I had from earlier. Okay.
Henry,
here's the shopkeep. So we're going to sell things quickly. I don't need to negotiate price because I have a bunch of stuff now. Where are my chickens? There we go. We're going to sell we're going to sell 2 of them.
For those just tuning in, this is Kingdom Come Deliverance. This releases tonight at midnight. So is that 9 p.m. Pacific? And then
yes.
Midnight East Coast. Great. And this is on the PC, the PS4, and the Xbox One.
All right, so we're getting 8.4 from this, which is even more than we were getting.
So going through that whole plot line of the turd throwing and the
you don't even need to do that.
The drunk punching, you can just
there's a way
sell
that
chickens.
There's a way that
Let's
you
talk
can
about
get
the price.
that you can get
sure, why not?
Money
sure.
without going the violent route, which is a fun way to. I'm just gonna make the offer. I'm not even gonna haggle here.
I'll go for that.
All right, cool. And now quickly buy some charcoal, and hopefully the catch bowl won't be here. But I'm not pressing my luck because I didn't want to.
Can the catch bowl interrupt you during dialogue?
Well, you saw them interrupt me during
during the dice roll.
During dice. So catch bowl are just aggressive police. Let's just call it that. All right, we're gonna close the deal. We're not even gonna negotiate. Stay away from me, guard. I don't. All right. Gonna talk to this guy real fast. Real
Have you
fast.
recovered from yesterday's great wound?
So at the beginning of the game, I had to scratch up my
Yep.
hand.
Except
He's
Mother
been
makes
training
us
me in
to
sword
have a
fighting.
war
I
to
lied to my mother, and now
My
she's
mother's
going to
happy
be
when
very
her
upset
son
about that.
starts to take an interest in swords. Where there's weapons, there's death. The question is, what do you want?
I don't want to rot in this hole forever. I feel like I don't belong here. I want to live and see the world. The world's a dangerous place, and I need to know how to protect myself.
Spoken like a man. And as it happens, today's your last chance. I have to leave. So, are you ready to get stuck in?
You ready to get stuck in? Let's go.
All right, so
All right,
we're going to follow
I'll wait
him,
on the ground by the
and
sheepfold as usual.
what I'm going to show you is a condensed version of. Let's see, a condensed version of how the checkpoints kind of change. So he's gonna go up here to the combat grounds, and generally like there'd be the checkpoint move to where you're supposed to meet him, but the checkpoint is on him. So you can see that people have day-night cycles. They don't fast travel. They actually move in real time. So everyone moves in real time. They have their day-night cycles. They have their nutrients and everything that they have to maintain of their own character, as well as you have to maintain of yours. So while we're waiting
based off of based off of Henry's actions thus far, I imagine what you'll be doing to practice sword fighting is hitting sheep as hard as you possibly can.
No, no, I punch chickens.
Henry has all the makings of a young, blossoming serial killer.
If you punch sheep, then wool sweaters just pop out.
You know, I have to say, like, being a wanted criminal, I would imagine is much easier in this time than it would be in modern times.
Yeah, I mean, how long does it take them to
relay information?
Yeah, to put a wanted poster up and then copy it 50 times.
I know, right?
Yeah. All right.
All by hand as well.
So he's going to teach me swordplay. It's going to be the same basic mechanics of unarmed combat that we saw before.
And he's just teaching you out of the goodness of his heart?
Yes, correct.
Let's start with the basics.
So there's the 5-point system. I'm going to lock onto him and then move and show you how, depending on where I'm targeting, my sword moves accordingly. So
I like the strategy you're employing so far.
Now try to hit me.
Yep,
You have to put your
exactly.
weight into your If you just fiddle around,
You got to confuse your enemy.
Yeah. How will he know where I'm striking
The art of
from?
war.
Unpredictability is the key.
Oh, there you go.
See, he's saying the same thing.
Yep.
You are ahead of your time, James.
Indeed.
All right, so we're going to quickly go through this tutorial, just showing off how we can slash.
Good. Now you're getting it. Good.
There we go. And so those are slashing mechanics. That's your stronger attack. Then your weaker attack is a direct pointed attack with your with bumper or R1.
Very good.
So combining those two, you actually have a nice combination and variety of mechanics that will get through people's strong guards.
Sure.
But if you chain your strikes, I'll have a much harder
Exactly
time.
what he's telling you right now.
There we go.
One blow, follow it with another.
All right, so
All right.
go.
All right.
And I need to let my stamina regenerate a little bit, and
Fine.
yeah.
You just get a hit on?
I did get a hit
Nice.
on him.
There we go.
Yeah. Which is way harder than it is than it actually sounds, because I have no points in combat right now.
So there is kind of an RPG stat thing happening in addition to just your input skill.
100%. Actually, the way that this works is very reminiscent of like a Final Fantasy II sort of thing, where your RPG stats are leveled up depending on usage.
Ah, okay.
So if you use unarmed combat, then unarmed combat's leveled up.
And things like strength and vitality, is that because I know we basically got to choose governing stat at the start.
So those your supplemental stats here. So you can see strength.
Okay.
So everything is
So basically doing strength type things.
strength related things. Upgrade strength. Agility related things. Upgrade agility. Speech related things, and you can see essentially everything down there. Let me go to combat and everything. There are tons and tons and tons of different skills that you unlock, depending on what your stats are. And upgrading these give you access to more combat combos and things that allow combat to be a lot easier, depending on what weapons you use, obviously. You can also upgrade your drinking, James. Because
I wonder how you do that.
Because
Will.
alcohol is actually a skill in this game, and you are given save potions, which is liquor.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you actually have to drink to save.
To save the game.
Yes.
So it's a necessity in this world.
That is the one of the things.
You could say that drinking is a skill in real life.
It's you build up your. Let's just say you build up your tolerance.
Sure.
And your tolerance is your skill.
Yes, I have. My drinking skill has withered in recent years. When I got into this industry, it was all the E3 parties, but I don't know, man. It's just so exhausting. Be on the show floor all day and then go.
Well, yeah. I mean, you need to. Play
Also,
this game,
there's
obviously.
this huge misconception about business development that like somehow you're going to go and have a couple of beers and swing this awesome like partnership or deal or exclusive with somebody. That never happens. Even if you just get drunk.
All right, so we're gonna see my girlfriend here.
Oh! Chat's getting excited.
Yeah, we're gonna see. Where is she?
Look where you're going.
Oh, there she is. She's yelling at me already.
Chat will be disappointed that it is not your mother. They're a disturbed group.
All right.
I can't help them.
Bianca, we need to chat. We need to talk.
God save, my lovely. You're looking well today.
You too, handsome. What brings you here?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Your beauty, of course.
Oh God!
It's
is the
Valentine's.
worst.
It's Valentine's week.
It is Valentine's
Come
week. That's
on.
true.
Homemade can be. And apart from my beauty,
You and Bianca are gonna have a beautiful, long, blossoming relationship and live
Yeah.
happily until the end of your years.
Yeah, we're gonna get a
Isn't that
picture
right?
for my father.
Right.
She's already winning over the in-laws.
Mhm.
She's doing her due diligence here.
She comes with beer.
but of course.
And this is the beginning of her long and fruitful life.
Sure.
This wonderful,
Here you are.
peaceful world
Thanks.
of Bohemia.
You are doing your best to avoid
Foreshadowing.
spoilers
Yes,
that are
yes.
about to happen here.
Extremely.
Here you go.
That was very low key.
Yeah. So
I can't
this is
wait.
still. I mean, we're taking our time here. I parted with some money. I gave her some money. We don't necessarily have to buy it because
By the way,
because she gives it to you out of the goodness of her heart because she likes you, obviously.
I suppose he's a man who makes his coin robbing honest wayfarers.
So yeah, this is. We've actually spent a good amount of time in this tutorial area, even though you don't need to. You can progress through this whole area in 5 minutes if you want. But
What use would that
it's
be to you?
interesting showing off the mechanics.
Yeah.
And the variability that you can approach situations with. Because I've seen a million people play this area, and 90% of them play it the exact same way.
Now, what would that be?
Your favorite.
I've actually, not joking, I've never seen someone get thrown in jail and die.
And then die in jail.
I've never seen that cutscene before.
And it's worth spending some time in Sallets, correct? Is that the name of it?
Yeah, Silver Scallots.
Yeah, and because this is going to be a destination where all of your friends and your family are going to be living this prosperous, wonderful life. You can, it's like the Shire. You can always come back. It will always be here. It'll always be green and perfect and beautiful. And it definitely won't have something terribly terrible, just a cataclysm in about 3 minutes and 42 seconds.
Right. That's why it took so much time learning the map and engaging with the locals and talking to them. Because once you set up, this is all relationship driven, this whole game. So once you have a good reputation in town, then it carries on to all the locals. All right. So I believe I have everything here. Let's talk to Father.
Who will be disappointed in you, because I'd also be disappointed if Henry were my
About
son.
time. Have you got
But,
everything I wanted?
I have to say the father is he's a character that inspires.
That's evidence on.
You want to do right by him. I felt his performance is the one so
beard.
far that kind of, and you'll never have that as Henry.
He's got a strong jaw.
He's just whatever is, maybe it's his like manner, or he carries himself in a certain way, but I did get a sense of like, yeah, I'm making my dad proud.
Yeah.
We're gonna put this sword together. It's gonna be a real good bonding experience.
Also, that hilt.
That hilt is nice.
Is really freaking nice.
And there's more to your father's backstory than meets the eye. He's not just kind of a lowly blacksmith. He comes from Prague. And
Exactly.
He's
So
a renowned swordsmith there.
So yeah, it's going to touch on that in a little bit during this cutscene. But there's sort of a mystery or like an unknown about your father's backstory, where he used to be a very accomplished blacksmith in Prague, swordsmith.
Oh, I reckon you might know what it was about.
Oh, Bobby, do you know anything about the turds that were thrown at that man's house? Boomhauer's in an uproar.
Because I'm pretty sure you and your friends threw dung at Deutsch's freshman
Oh man,
house.
I know what you're saying about you want to do right by him, because I feel guilty right now. I feel like I'm being scolded.
Talking treason in the tavern about Sigismund.
Oh, and that's basically an admission of guilt right
got
there.
what he deserved.
Got what he deserved, did he?
See, the great thing is like this part of this cutscene is completely dependent on what you decide to do.
Yep. I can't confirm that because I did not throw turds at anybody's house, and he kind of vaguely accused me, but let it slide.
Yeah, I mean it has variable performance capturing and variable dialogue depending on your approach that you take, which
we'll never have this conversation again.
Super cool. The script for this game is
right
actually about double the entire. If you stack all of the Lord of the Rings trilogy books together, it's the script for this game is double that. It's insane.
Excessive. What is that? What is that size-wise in audio files?
It's a lot. I mean, most of the game build data is actually the uncompressed audio files because of all of the different dialogue in the game. But see, he's giving me sage advice. You would say, try using your mouth, not your fist. Little does he know, all my points went into speech craft.
Furnace is ready.
Hey,
right, we'll do the grip.
One step ahead of your dad.
Yeah.
He wants you to be an honorable, good man, and you used your powers of speech to be.
Heat it up, and when I take it
just
out,
the worst.
I use them for evil,
exactly.
not for
You
good.
know what you're doing.
All right, so we're finishing up Sir Radzik, the lord of this area. We're finishing up his blade that he's commissioned my father to make. Heating up the
And
hilts,
I didn't know that I would advise anybody doing this at home to try and throw a hilt onto a burning metal sword with your bare hands.
Yeah.
Just imagine that slipping off and his flesh becoming seared onto the blade. Ah! I literally thought that was going to happen. It freaked me out. But Henry's just he's just blissfully ignorant to everything going on in the world, just kind of floating through it.
You know,
and just throwing turds.
They've probably done this before.
That's true. They have. But I can't believe the Hank Hill type father wouldn't be like, "Where are your safety gloves, Bobby?"
Why did you leave?
Well, I will say.
Also, where's the varnish?
I'm seeing various questions in chat. I'm not going to answer some of the more lewd questions, but I will say, back to the trophies and achievements, that it plays into how you want to approach the game. There's actually a trophy or achievement for completing the game as a virgin.
There you go.
So
you can get that achievement in real life too.
That that indirectly answers some of the questions in chat.
Okay, so you would assume that there's the opposite of that in the game, which would confirm. I mean, what is the point of having a BO trait that's going to attract women if you can't do it? But I guess we'll get to that later. So you're talking politics with your dad here.
We are. We're re-encapsulating the plot as it's unfolded before. There are two kings that are contesting the area. There are two popes at the current point. If you go into the codex, there's a blip that says the popes, and it has information on both of them. It's really interesting this dichotomy that's happening between the Hungarian Empire coming and trying to take over the Holy Roman Empire because Wenceslaus isn't properly assuming his throne.
And your father giving you some excellent advice here. Henry's saying that he wants to venture off and see the world, maybe get into a little bit of some fights here and there. And your father's saying don't be so eager for that. You know, he worked very hard to come to this relatively humble village and just set up shop with Henry and his mother, and he feels like he's found what's good in life.
The Lord be with you. My father sent me for those nails.
Good day to you, Teresa.
We're introduced to Teresa here.
Yes.
Fetch them for me, Hal. They're in the trunk in the living room.
Teresa, I believe she's the miller's daughter. All right, so I need to get some nails for Teresa, which are in my trunk. Just to appease chat, we will say hi to my mother as we walk by.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Let's do nothing more on that front. What is she making some kind of tapestry?
She is sewing right now.
There's Henry's mother, chat. Have a good long
Yep,
look.
wait.
Could be one of the last times you bumped into her. Chat will be overjoyed. So you're going into your nails specifically for Teresa.
Yeah, see? And I'm going to just take all there. And we got that. We're going to
get a great question here from Carol Clark, who wants to know, can you hire troops?
Can you hire troops? Yes and no is the answer to that question.
Here are those nails you wanted.
There are different approaches you can take on various quests. You can't just directly hire mercenaries at any given time, but depending on how you research and investigate before you approach quests, there are opportunities for you to enlist an army to help you out, just like you enlisted your friends in helping you out with that fight with Kunesh.
That's an interesting angle.
Oh,
I wonder what he's looking at. Henry.
You have a girlfriend, Henry.
Fine lass, eh?
Henry is just...
Oh, he is.
Now stop staring at her and come and see this. It's time for trial by fire.
That is classic Henry.
Classic Henry.
What do you plan to do tomorrow, Henry? I was thinking about rolling some dice, beating up Kunesh again, looking at women's bums, throwing turds at a house.
Just your typical day in a medieval village.
Exactly.
We did a fine job.
All right, so you could see that he actually has a bit of technique.
Yeah.
He's handled a blade before. This is Sir Radzik.
Those days are gone, sir.
Presenting the blade to him.
You haven't lost your skills, though.
Obviously, you'll see him.
He's about to show us how it's done.
Exactly.
What if he whiffed? That would be embarrassing. Ooh! Very nice.
Would you like to try it?
Sir, what good is a sword to a commoner?
Let him try it.
Henry.
Oh, now if you want to
the
see
epitome of masculinity, stepping up to the plate. Wow! A home run! And another one! I'm not even Henry's father, and I'm disappointed.
Out of the park. Just
He's
blew
not
that
my son,
one.
thankfully.
Learning his trade will serve him better in life.
Blew that one out of the park.
That boy ain't right. Oh.
But I mean, it sets the plate. Going back to your baseball reference, it sets the plate for you being a very unskilled at combat peasant.
Sure.
So you have to learn from the ground up. You're not a super soldier.
If I'd had its like back in Nicopolis, things would have worked out.
You're not coming in as like this hero. You are a commoner that has to build himself up.
He's pointing his sword as if it were a gun right at Henry's father's head.
Yeah.
You're right. It's a very long and peculiar story.
So this is another reference to his my father's backstory.
Mysterious. There's a
full
lot
of
happening with
mystery.
your dad. Your dad lived a very full, prestigious life.
And one of the dialogue points, you can actually ask your mother about this, and she'll say you should ask your father about his sordid days back at the capital.
A bit of a ruffian.
Yeah, he was a rogue, if you will.
It always seems very presumptuous of me for fathers who kind of live an exciting life, and then their sons want to do the same, or daughters want to do the same, and they deny them that opportunity. So obviously Henry is going to rebel. That's the teenage way.
Honor is mine, Sir Radzik.
So this has been the pleasant setup of these are your skills, this is a tutorial, this is what is happening in the world, and classic plotline.
Sometime, but not today.
You know that this world is in turmoil.
Will you teach me how to use it like Sir Radzik said?
It's about to come to your doorstep.
Remember what I said about this this village being
I'll
here?
travel a bit before settling down.
Through the entire game. You can just always come back to it and see everybody smiling.
Oh no, I just realized chat's going to be very upset.
What? Spoilers?
With something that's going to happen.
Oh yeah. No, they'll dislike it.
Yeah.
So Henry's father giving him some perhaps final words of wisdom, saying that he shouldn't be so eager to rush into action if he wants to keep his head on his shoulders.
There it is.
Synced right up. Look at that. And actually, like, immediately after what is about to happen, I very much played as if
First, I'd like to see the world.
this were kind of a power fantasy RPG where I can go up and be like, unhand her, you fiend! But it doesn't work out like that.
Yeah,
this is
you're-
a
swordplay.
That's why it shows you that you have no skills in swordplay before that, because
he's 27. You'd think he could at least swing a sword.
I mean,
and a
I'm not
stick,
gonna nail that age, because that's one thing I'm not 100% sure of. But it's he's old enough.
Sure. Hey!
All right.
Look, a parade.
Yeah.
Daddy, look, it's oh.
Yeah, that's a lot of bannermen.
What is to become of Henry's mother? The chat will want to know. Should we sack this down? Yeah, all right.
He has a very sinister-looking mustache. Feel like mustache is the
Facial hair really seems to be key.
It's a signature look. Oh. Those aren't flaming presents that are being shot at us, are they?
Maybe. I imagine they're all skewered with hot dogs and their gifts.
Yeah, this is
Listen carefully. Take the
things
sword,
are turning
go
south
to the
real
house,
fast here.
Grab anything else important from the trunk. Go to the castle. Hurry.
What about you?
Your mother is in the village. I'll fetch her and we'll follow right behind.
I'll go with you.
No. You'll do what I say right now. Give the sword to Sir Radzik. If anything happens, he'll take care of you. He owes me.
Yeah, that's a big army. That door's not gonna. Yep.
Too bad. A valiant defense.
That was that catch bull that tried to stop me earlier.
Can't get me now. The perfect crime.
Quickly! We have to close the gates! Move! Come on, we're closing! Move it, people! Come on! We're running out of time! Oh, Henry! Thank God! Get inside, quick! We have to shut the gates! Keep running, people! Come on!
Mind this for me.
Are you mad? You can't go back! Ah! Get through the gates!
Ooh, Dad's got some skills.
It's not his first rodeo here.
He's putting up quite the fight.
He's trying. Oh, that's just unnecessary.
Come on, Hal! You can still make it! Run!
I swear, Henry has the IQ of a mayfly.
Yeah, well, I didn't put my points in intelligence, did I?
This is like, oh, oh.
Find a horse! Ride to Tom Berg! Tell them what's coming! Warn them!
Run by the moats! There's a path down there! Jump down from the wall and flee!
Woo! He's gonna run. Well, thankfully, he doesn't have a lot of armor.
And
so
I
he should be quick.
have a sword.
He does.
So we're at least armed.
Henry's running with scissors. Here we go. Sir Ratzik's like, ah, that was my sword.
Chad is very upset about the mother dying.
Yeah, don't kill Mom. Sorry, guys.
I'm so sorry, Chad.
She exists now.
We
Only
tried
in
to
my
warn
memory.
you. All right, so I'm going to go quickly and show here. So we've opened up a new area over here. I need to ride to Tom Berg.
Okay.
Which is over here. You'll see as I'm doing so, we'll continue to open up more of the map. It'll continue to progress, and then once we get there, I'll show off the new city, because that city map is gorgeous. All right, so I need to run.
Yep.
You see
You do. I didn't think you needed to run, and you could probably take your time. It's like,
Oh,
okay,
no.
now I'm out
Oh.
into the world. I can kind of do whatever I want.
Oh, no.
No, you got to run.
You got to run. You can see the hillside is on fire. This is not the only place that is being attacked. This is a coordinated assault of this whole land right now.
Yeah, and these, when they get on your case, these soldiers do not give up easily.
Oh, no.
They, to my knowledge, do not have an aggro range in the sense that, like, oh, I'm 20 feet away from you. Go back to where you came from.
You cannot outrun these soldiers in this scenario.
All right, so Teresa,
right.
who we were just introduced to,
yes,
is about to suffer an absolutely terrible fate over there.
No,
thankfully,
she's not.
You have a sword.
Yep, but I'm not going to kill them because those are 3 soldiers. I'm going to whistle and distract them.
Oh.
And run away and get on this horse.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
And now I'm going to gallop away
now
very
I feel
quickly.
like a jerk for. So what I did is I tried to fight those soldiers like 4 different times.
Oh, yeah.
It resets you back in the castle. You have no chance.
Oh yeah,
And,
no,
then
you
it's
can't.
like, all right, well,
you can't fight
can't do
off
anything here.
3 fully armored soldiers with 1 sword. That's not something that you can do at this point in the game. Since this is, again, this game's focused on history and realism, fighting 3 armored knights, 1 on 3, you would die. And that's, well.
I don't know why I enjoy seeing Henry hurt, but I do. There's something about, maybe it's his face, I don't know. I just...
Get some help, Jen.
Wooden shaft in my leg.
Well, he's kind of he's a little bit naive, and he's a little arrogant and ignorant at the beginning.
How old he is.
So it serves him right a little bit. So I need to gallop very fast here and get to Tom Berg, outrun these soldiers that are right behind me. I'm not exaggerating. You've played this. If I slow down, I will get shot with arrows very, very quickly.
You do, and you will actually have to slow down at some point, right? Because your horse's stamina. There you go, take one right now.
Yep.
And so we can see both your stamina as well as your health
Yes.
are basically on the same bar, and when you take a hit, it brings both down.
Yes. I mean, it's very different when you're on horseback and when you're getting hit with arrows than it is during armed combat.
Sure.
If you take a hit during armed combat, first it whittles down your stamina, and then when your stamina is empty, then it hits your health.
You are galloping here, correct?
I
Because
am
your
going-
horse's stamina is as fast as you can?
Correct.
All right.
That
and your
is-
horse will eventually run out of stamina.
It
You'll
will,
kind of have
and
to-
it'll start neighing and bucking, which I'm trying not to do. I'm going to give it some reprieve right here, right about this point.
Take a look behind you as well.
Gain. I'm not going to because you'll hear some arrows whiz. Oh,
There you go.
there
You're
you
getting
go.
shot. They're like literally right behind you. I thought maybe at this point you would have lost them.
No,
but
they are galloping right behind me as well. So you need to continue to run away. All the people behind me are getting murdered mercilessly.
Yes, of course.
So I'm trying to warn them, but yeah, this is actually stressful. If you don't gallop, you die in this situation.
Losing a significant part of the chat now that Henry's mother is gone. No, just kidding. You'd imagine from the frequency at which they were discussing her.
Justice for Henry's mom. Hashtag. All right, there's some bucking.
We also have
some
Brendan
neighing.
Graber in the IGN chat. You can check it out there. Normally I'd be running polls and such, but since we're actually just kind of previewing this, we're just going to keep the focus on the game. But if you do have any questions, Brendan Graber or Pear can talk to you in the IGN chat.
All right, we made it, and we leveled up horsemanship as well. One of the cool things there is going back to when you use a skill, you level up the experience in it. When you're yelling at the townsfolk to run away, you can actually level up your speechcraft.
Hey,
because
we know you're all about the speechcraft.
It's something that shocked me the first time I was doing it because I died like 4 times here, and when I was yelling at the townsfolk to help them run away, it leveled up my speech.
Quickly, everyone! Get your asses here!
So this is the next town over.
This is Tom Berg, a little bit of a more fortified place. It actually has a castle.
And so is that just kind of a unified helmet, or we saw a very similar face mask on one of the
So
One
this
of
is
the dastardly fellows who killed your mother.
This is essentially a mercenary army.
Okay.
From Turkey, or it's the Hungarians that have invaded. It's the armor that doesn't look familiar to the Bohemians because it's from a different area, from a different army. They've been recruited by the invading forces.
And Henry, having seen very little of the world, just doesn't really even know. He also doesn't. It's worth pointing out that he doesn't know how to read. It's not a common skill.
That's actually a really interesting thing, which, to my knowledge, this is the only game that's done something like this.
The characters can't read.
Well, no. I mean, it's.
Where are you from?
This is. I keep going back to it. This is an RPG. This is an RPG. But I feel like RPG has lost its meaning as a role-playing game in a lot of the sense. In this game, you're illiterate at this point, and there are over 100 books in the game. You first have to learn how to read before you can actually use them for their alchemy recipes and everything. So you enlist in a monastery, learn how to read. Then you can level up your alchemy and everything, have access to this whole other side of the game. But that's not something that you have to do. You can forgo that entire side of the game and be illiterate if you want.
Sure.
The choice is yours.
The choice is mine. I can read, I cannot read. Man, Henry is just a sweet summer child.
He is.
Doesn't know how to read.
And he just
can't use a sword.
He had an arrow ripped from his body. They didn't even cut it and pull it out the other end.
It's honestly like he was born yesterday in the body of a 25-year-old. But I guess that's, you make Henry what you want him to be.
Yeah.
War is a good teacher.
He's just still laying on the ground. Now, one of my favorite little, it's not really an Easter egg, but one of my favorite little things in the game is after having that arrow ripped out of you, once you regain control over your character, you have that arrow in your inventory.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't realize that. That's very funny.
Yeah, there's just little things like that where it makes sense.
You can use it to kill the man who killed your mother.
Oh, you could, theoretically.
Save it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not going to give away any spoilers, but yeah.
Sure.
Sir, this is a survivor from...
I heard, Robard. Tell me, boy, what exactly happened? Did you see the ensigns of the attackers? And were there any more survivors?
So, I don't know what army it was, but it was huge. There were dozens of banners flying.
Big army, swords. There are lots of men.
Slaughtering spoke a strange language. They burned Skalitz to the ground.
Yeah, so obviously you don't know Hungarian, so whenever a Hungarian troop speaks, you can't understand this game.
Makes sense.
There's actually some funny instances where you can attempt to speak Hungarian to try to bypass guards.
Guards, sure.
Yeah,
just like
it results in some comedic instances in this game.
Must have given him a taste for stolen silver.
Skalitz is a small castle, sir. If Sigismund attacks, they can't hold.
Indeed, Sir Robard. And our small garrison would be no help, even if we could risk sending them.
You think we're next in line?
Maybe. What's your name, boy?
I'm Henry, son of the Skalitz blacksmith.
I know him. Did he make it inside the castle? I'm sorry. It's in God's hands now.
Doesn't even ask about your mother.
Nope.
No one else can help us.
The chat does, though.
Anyway. Thank you.
Anyway.
For risking your neck.
Did your mother survive? Is she single now?
Robard, take care of Henry. Make sure he gets something to eat and some rest.
Yes, sir.
And get all the people inside the gates. We have to prepare for the worst. Make all the necessary arrangements.
As you command, sir.
So, in the introductory, I guess it's been like hour and a half of the game, we've seen a lot of dialogue and a lot of cutscenes. Would you say that the instances of those that we've seen thus far will continue in this frequency moving on, or does it kind of open up a bit at some point?
This is very cutscene heavy.
Okay.
In the intro section, it's building the plot, it's building the story. The point of it is to acclimate you to the world and introduce you to everything, especially because it's introducing you to a variety of mechanics that are unique to this game.
Why don't you go to the kitchen and have a good meal?
In their combination, I'd say they're unique to this game. So it's very.
I heard about your father. They say
I wouldn't say tutorial heavy, but it's very cutscene heavy, setting the premise for the world.
Sure. I have to read this comment, as I do on every stream, to establish that we are in fact live. Reggie K says 25 minutes until live stream, in all caps and quotes, finishes and loops again. Yeah, if you want to see this from the start.
Yeah,
we are live, though.
We are live, and up, down, right, left. We are controlling this live. This is not a scripted demo.
I would be more impressed than offended if a developer brought 2 hours of pre-recorded footage somehow.
Yeah,
that would be a technical. That would be impressive.
Please pardon my giant hard drive disk with this 10 gigs of footage.
You're fortunate. Our good lady Stephanie of Tom Berg has graced us with her presence.
All right, folks on YouTube, we're getting to a place where we can, I think, answer a lot of questions. We have about 30 minutes left, so let's dedicate the rest of the stream to you and your questions. YouTube, IGN.com, as well as Twitch. Let us know.
After everything he's been through, he must be as hungry as a bear, aren't you, young master?
I like food.
More lentil soup.
And a little wine to wash it down.
So this is a noble that you're talking to, correct? Yes. This is the wife of the...
This is the Lady of Tom Berg.
Right, yes.
When you're done, you can go and rest with the grooms in the Outer Bailey.
No, that won't do, Sir Robard. After all he's been through,
I'd like Sir Robard's subtle cue here in a second.
Let him sleep in a lodge in the courtyard.
Certainly, milady. Young Henry here is overwhelmed by generosity.
Yes, young Henry here has no brain cells left to compute what you just said.
Eat up now. You're in capable hands, so I'll leave you to it.
Teresis asks, what system are we playing on? We are currently playing on PC. Do you know the tech specs of this laptop? You brought an Alienware laptop here.
I'm using, it has a 1070. It's not a 1070M, but it's a desktop 1070, and it's an i7.
Okay.
I think it's an i7 5500.
It's also worth noting you're playing on ultra high across the board.
Yes.
Which you were definitely like sacrificing some frame rate there for textures and shadows and things of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, but it helps, especially with the draw distance and things like that.
Sure.
Yeah, one of the things to note, if you are, yeah, I'm starving and I'm tired right now.
I love Henry. He understands life.
All right, so
must consume food.
I'm going to get all the cheese.
I like cheese.
And bread rolls and lentil soup. And
I do like cheese.
And the duck legs over there.
I just love the idea of Henry just going, I'll take this, and this, and this.
I don't know where he's putting that lentil mash, because that would spill
He just
everywhere.
opens his pants and just pours the soup in. I like soup.
Yep, that's what's happening here. All right, cool.
Oh boy, we have so many questions all of a sudden.
We're
Okay.
gonna take the wine, and we're going to eat a bunch because we're famished.
GamerGuy75, funny comment, not going to read it.
But one thing that I wanted to show here is now that we've unlocked more of the map, you can see the tiny town that was in between. This is most likely burned to the ground now.
Sure.
And you can see what it's known for. You can see that there are likely soldiers on the horizon. So little things like that, little cues. There are. It's against a forest, and there's wildlife there, and if you look on top, you can see scouts in the background burning.
It's a sad day.
But
we saw Henry's mother's charred corpse there.
Oh no, too soon.
Not Peru.
But I am gonna go into Tom Berg, and you can see this is a much larger city. This is the largest city that we've seen at this point, and there are different quest givers. This is the first time you've seen an activity giver on the map. There are different areas of that are of importance that you want to explore.
There's a terribly deformed rabbit that we should find and put out of its misery. There's also
that one right there. And that
we should punch all of the hair off that rabbit. I'm going to take a pretty funny comment here from McStaker, who says, this game claims to be historically accurate, But will it let me accuse a random person of being a witch? You'll have to play it and find out.
All right, I need to eat a bunch because if you look here, I'm going to go to my stats, and you can see, let's go all the way down, and what my nutrition is at. My nourishment is currently 0. I am about to die, pretty much. All right.
Well, that answers the question from Real Mystery D, who asks, are you eating that or saving it? We poured the lentil soup down our pants, everything else we plan to consume right now.
Lentil soup, lentil mash. Okay, I'm at 16 nourishment. I need to eat cheese. You need a lot of cheese.
Staker asks, do you have a random chance for food poisoning? If we kept, for instance, that goat leg, or what have you, in your inventory for months.
That's one of the things that that they sacrifice on realism, just because infections and poisons from various things like that, unintentional poisoning was way too common. You would die 5 minutes into the game from all the disease and everything.
I got a cut on my foot. That ends this playthrough.
Exactly. So
okay, so there's so basically food does not have an expiration date. It's fair to say in Kingdom Come Deliverance, you can kind of just keep it in. Like when you pick up a roast duck, that roast duck is there until I eat it, pretty much.
I mean, it's. Let's go ahead and cook this chicken.
Oh.
So you lose energy but gain health, essentially from food because you're tired. Basically, you go into a food coma.
Yeah. Which we can see a bit of here.
Yep. So that's the blinking that I mentioned earlier. All right. So we're cooking up some chicken. I have that in my inventory now, and I'm about to fall asleep.
All right. Capsfire is demanding battle gameplay. I do think that's fair to say that we probably want to see some sword fighting before this ends, if possible, in about 20 minutes.
If possible,
we may just have to get into a scrap with like a local drunkard, which you apparently have no problem with.
I will do that. It's not going to. It's going to get me murdered and thrown in the jail because that's not part of the.
It's the second time.
That's not part of the plot line that we're showing off here. But I will attack a random townsperson.
Okay.
Just to appease them. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you. This is again the day-night mechanic that progresses as I sleep. I need to sleep to maintain my health because my eyes are shutting. So let me go ahead and go to the next morning. You can see my energy is going up based on how long I'm sleeping. So let me go here, and my nourishment's going down because I get hungrier the longer I go. So I'm going to get 9 hours of sleep.
That's nice, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm jealous.
I got that over the weekend. Went to woke up at
like combined over the weekend.
Yeah, combined.
Yes,
it was very nice. Nice 4.5 hours a night. It's enough for me. All right, any more questions on IGN? I'm going to jump back over to YouTube chat real quick, which is going a mile a minute. Is there third person?
No, this is a strictly first-person game, and that's important because of all the perspectives and everything with armor.
Sure.
Forgive the intrusion.
Lynx asks, can you build your army? I do remember at some point Warhorse Studios dropped by and showcased a battle sequence.
Yes.
This was a very early build, but
there's a siege. There's a siege sequence where there's a giant battle and castle siege that you take part in. You go up the ramparts, you storm a castle, up ladders and up to the ramparts. It's a huge sequence. But yeah, so that's all in the game. That's part of the critical storyline and the critical path.
Sure. Here's a very specific question. Metal Gear asks, do you get any special encounters when fast traveling?
Yes, you do.
Wow.
That is a great question, and there's a skill that reduces the encounters that you get if you want. Essentially,
Thank you.
I might be able to show you fast travel here.
We may just have to skip this.
Yeah.
Interaction with this very.
I might be able to show you because essentially what it does is it on the overall map it moves your chess piece. It moves your piece that represents Henry slowly from one point to another, and you can't fast travel over terrain that you haven't explored yet. So and during that there's chances of encountering whether it's bandits or traveling merchants. So you can choose to ignore them, and then there's a percentage and RNG chance that that you can get by them and escape them, or
you might just get slung into combat. Essentially. Got it. Zico asks, can you pickpocket clothing?
You can pickpocket. I've not attempted to pickpocket clothing off someone's back. So that's like I know what he's asking. I have not attempted that, so I can't accurately answer that.
But there is
pickpocketing. The only way to do pickpocketing is to approach someone completely unnoticed and then attempt to pickpocket. Then it's based on your skill, but you can't even attempt if you've been noticed at all.
You just undress a guard.
Yes.
By Jove, I'm in the nude.
So the lady of Tom Berg is asking me to recount what just happened, and I can lie to her, or I can tell the truth.
And we see a new mechanic in this particular dialogue where you actually have a time limit.
You do.
What you have to do.
I went for an ale and met my sweetheart Bianca.
See, I neglected to talk about my girlfriend at this particular note.
Well, yeah,
seeing as she's probably dead.
She's probably dead, and you've introduced Teresa, which depending on where your affinity lies.
Oh dear boy.
But again, Valentine's Day is tomorrow. I'm going to choose the love route.
You are just such a sweetheart.
He was forging a sword.
All right, we're going to keep no guns at this point in time.
Oh, it's Valentine's Day, not tomorrow. Sorry. Jeez. 2 days.
2 days.
I've been
here's a question. Jala Shaw asks, can I make poison?
Yes. Yes, you can. You can, alchemy is a thing in this game. You want to become literate, you can learn different alchemy potions, or recipes to craft potions and then use them to interact with the daily cycles of NPCs and poison their food, and it impacts their overall health, so that they pretty much become one-hit kill.
So, like, you poison them slowly but surely over a long amount of time to the point where that is devious.
So it won't necessarily kill them all. It'll really impact their health to the point where they're essentially one-hit KO.
Wow.
Awful.
A lot of people asking about advancing relationships with certain members of your family. I feel like the tutorial should have explained that you will no longer be interacting with other parts of your family.
Because they killed my mother and father.
They did.
Look at that.
Bam.
That dialogue is on point.
Perfect.
With chat right
Perfect.
now.
And then I saw him knocking down one.
You did manage to make off with your father's sword, though, at the very least.
Yes, because what you're gonna see in a little bit is, or one of the cutscenes explains that I'm still trying to deliver the sword to Sir Radzik, because that was my father's dying wish, essentially.
And then he turned on my mother.
One Burgo7 in chat saying World of Warcraft is dying. Okay. Check back in here with another 14 years. That Prosto asks, is there intimacy?
There is. I mentioned it earlier. You can get an achievement or trophy for finishing the game as a virgin. That means that there's the opposite of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what is the opposite of being a virgin? We'll let you know when we find out. So we had a question here. Some people asking about magic. This is obviously very historically accurate. It is technically fiction, but set in a very realistic historical context.
Essentially, you are a fictional character set in a non-fictional setting. That's the best way to describe it. It's also been called, think Dungeons with No Dragons.
Sure.
That's there is.
That's a great name for a game.
Yeah, it's historically accurate, so there is no magic. It's not fantasy. It's realistic medieval.
There are a few liberties taken for the sake of gameplay that I noticed so far. One of them being, we just talked about it, that food doesn't necessarily spoil.
Yep.
Because that might just impact the gameplay to the point where it would be a little bit too tedious. But there also is a health potion, which I noticed.
Right. So there are a couple things to add some gamification to it. Save potions, health potions. Those aren't really plentiful. They cost a lot of money. So the focus is really those are to save your hide, really.
Right. And everybody's going to react differently to those. I am generally always personally in favor of sacrificing some things in a realistic historical capacity if it adds to the gameplay. Case in point being like World of Tanks. At some point, how do you have a multiplayer game with a bunch of different tanks and balance them if they're...
Well, I mean, that's one of the
it's interesting.
One of the stories the Warhorse guys like to tell is
I do like that achievement. You learned women in the Middle Ages.
But it's, again, codexes of how women would react, how a lady, a noble, would or wouldn't react with a peasant coming to stay. Like, all of that's been vetted through the full-time historian on staff at Warhorse. So these are all interactions that would have taken place in this time and taken within that context of historical accuracy.
Sure. Con Y asks, can you hunt animals?
Yes. There are 9 different species of animals that you can hunt across the land.
Barely 18 years old.
And obviously, the rabbits and deer and everything are mostly residing in the forest.
All right. We were getting an extreme vote from the chat on YouTube to skip the dialogue.
Skip the dialogue?
Which, as much as I'd be excited as a noble lady approaching me in the middle of the night to talk about the problems with her husband,
we got it. We can do that.
Only he has many.
There you go. You've learned
I learned women in the Middle Ages. That is, it has been learned.
No doubt become a valuable skill. Okay, so we're having a little bit of a flashback here.
It's more of a nightmare.
I would have loved to have seen Henry nightmaring about his own failed attempts to take that stick.
I actually looked at that really closely the first time I saw it to see whether or not he was recounting accurately his own lack of skill. Because
so this is actually different, obviously, than what happened.
Correct. So he's having a nightmare.
She obviously did not scream for his help.
Right.
And his father's dying wish was not, oh, you disappoint me, Bobby. Oh.
Again, Holy Roman Empire, the popes are residing over this heavily religiously influenced time period.
Wake up.
He's having a nightmare that his parents are rotting in the streets and have not been given a proper Christian burial, and their souls are going to go to hell. That is essentially what he is having a nightmare about right now. All right, so we're going to see a new mechanic here. This is the first time that we've seen nighttime in the game. We're going to pick up this torch right here, and this is one thing that CryEngine does better than almost any other engine, is refraction on wet surfaces.
Very pretty.
So
I've been playing a lot of Hunt Showdown.
Yeah, love the CryEngine, guys. This is this is essentially a heavily modified version of, I believe it's CryEngine 3.4. It's something that the guys at Warhorse have been working on for a very long time. But it's a modified version of CryEngine. But yeah, it makes the scenery, it makes the vegetation, it makes the lighting, especially in the wet environments, look absolutely gorgeous in this game.
I will say that the chat is demanding combat.
All right, it's going to happen. So I'm going to... There's going to be a cutscene up here. I'm going to play through it, and that's actually technically the end of the demo.
Okay.
After that, I'm going to take my sword out, and I'm going to start a fight.
Okay.
To appease chat.
Yes, chat wants blood. They want blood, and they want your mom. And that's chat in a nutshell. Hey, that's a great person to start a fight with. If you had to pick a fight and get all of the guards on your case, you'd probably die in like 2 seconds, though. I'm not going to make you do that.
You can't draw your weapon here.
Oh, so people are even
a
little bit annoyed that you drew your weapon.
Oh, jeez, my strength went up. Oh, I'm going to get murdered really fast.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
You have 0 chance.
Yeah, that's... Oh, I repelled that one attack. Oh, I'm getting stabbed in the back. See, this is a bad place to...
So, like, fighting a bunch of people at once in this game definitely seems daunting, especially considering you can only target one. Though we saw you can hit people who aren't necessarily targeted.
Because it's the physical collision model. Yeah, see, I'm going to get murdered very quickly.
I'm actually surprised you've lasted this long. There you go.
So, it's a really bad idea to initiate combat in a group setting. It's best to choose your encounters and poison them or distract them.
Especially when you have 0 sword fighting skill.
Correct. Yeah, my strength leveled up when I did that because I had no points in strength.
But that's obviously not carrying over back. You know
No.
It's not retroactively give you this. All right, so you're going to get through a cutscene. Is there any, can you think of any, maybe it's like a destitute man in the streets. You had no problem beating up that drunk person earlier or killing those chickens with one punch, knocking all their feathers off. Can you think of anybody in this town that we could get into like a little bit of a one-on-one scrap with?
Yeah, I'll do that after the cutscene.
Oh, great.
You might be right.
I mean, I actually can't, you can't actually attack the Lord of Tom Berg, which is what I tried to do. So I ended up attacking his guard.
I'll settle for his
guard right there, which was terrible, and ended up having 8 guards on me.
That would have been very dishonorable had you attacked the Lord.
Yes.
All right, so you're asking what's going on.
Yep.
What's going on?
He slept for 9 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which is
all right, so I'm gonna
5 hours short of his usual 14 hours.
Because I'm gonna skip over this a lot of the time because chat's been asking about this, and what we're gonna see here is the cutscene, which I won't skip over that. I'll skip over the dialogue.
I have not seen this yet. Okay, so this is a
Who goes there?
kind of a pilgrimage.
It's Sir Radzik.
Oh,
the guys from
escaped.
The guys from Skalitz.
Wow.
Exactly. And it explains how they escaped. Essentially, there's a deluge of rain coming down, and they were able to escape under the cover of the rain.
That's nice. I'm impressed that they not only have escaped, but are like able to kind of like chat.
So we'll run this cutscene, and then I will find a poor commoner and make them taste my blood.
All right, that's what chat wants.
I'm more of a speechcraft person myself.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so this time, so there's some cool things because we haven't unlocked the whole map. I actually have a cloth map right here. That
quick, take a screenshot, get it on our wiki.
Yeah. So if I don't know where I'm going, I can actually pull this out and chart my course.
Fair enough. If he kept it as like a handkerchief and he was like, whoosh. Yes.
Yeah. After I have my lentil mash.
After you pour your lentil mash down your pants.
Alright, so what they're saying is Sir Radzik has sworn allegiance to Lord Wenceslas. King Wenceslas.
It does not roll off the tongue.
And the rival king who's invading is going to look for him, so he's not going to stay in Talmberg because Sigismund would then fight the Lord of Talmberg.
Got it.
So he's not going to endanger this city. Instead, he's going to move on to Rathe, which is a large castle.
We can see why he is a knight.
You have courage, lad. That I can't deny. I am sorry about what happened. Would you care to join us?
I'd like to, sir, but first I have to return to Skalitz.
Are you mad? What do you want there?
I can't leave my mother and father. I won't leave their corpses rotting in the street. I'll join you once I've taken care of them.
Don't even think of going back there, you donkey.
That is the most apt word to describe. I like this guy.
But getting killed as well won't help him.
There's one of my favorite things about this game are the new words and new insults you learn from the dialogue. There's some really good ones.
It's like listening to reading Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and Shakespeare and just kind of getting familiar with the lingo of that time.
Essentially, yes.
There's some really good quips that are quite clever.
When circumstances are more favorable. Farewell.
That's nice of him. So he doesn't want his sword.
Good fortune.
Didn't really come up.
It didn't really come up.
Yeah. I imagine that
it will.
Okay. I would imagine that he's, witnessed this kid's parents being butchered in the street.
I'm not going to chuck a sword from the ramparts down to
knowing Henry, I don't know. I feel like he might.
My aim wouldn't be very good.
Sir Radzik, I have your sword. Oh.
It would end up in the moat. All right. So that is essentially the end of the demo, but
all right, we got about 6 minutes left, and we are going to find
someone to fight. I'm going to look at society here. Where's characters? Here's all the popes.
Jeez. Wenceslas.
I'm curious. General. Where's women in the Middle Ages?
Oh, you're going to read about it? There we go.
All right. yeah, it's a patriarchal society. Domestic activities, well-to-do women, embroidering, cleaning, childcare. All these codexes are taken from the notes that historians use for reference when creating this game. So it's actually super informative, cool information.
True.
But yeah, anyway, this is what you learned essentially by talking to the noblewoman.
And these unlock as you do various things throughout the game.
Correct.
I mean, it's always cool to get a little bit of extra lore, a little bit of extra exposition, but in this instance, it's actually historical fact.
Yeah,
and you can kind of take that with you.
And it's extra if you want it.
Sure.
That's the thing. If you want to just progress through the plot, do combat, do stealth, play as you will, then it's not going to beat you over the head with the historical nature of the game.
Sure.
But if you're playing it for that, to get that historical experience, then it's definitely there for you.
All right, so we're finding...
I'm trying to get a nice one-on-one. Because
These towns are all so small. There's so many guards. That's kind of the issue. You going to lockpick your way into the kitchen and fight the chef?
This is my bed in there. The thing is, like, once I unsheath my blade, it's gonna...
I appreciate the way you said that.
Once I unsheath my blade, it's going to alert the guards.
Okay, so here's the fight. You wanted a 6-minute fight, but we are going to attack a man in his sleep. Oh my god! Can you imagine just being woken up by somebody wailing on you?
Stop right where you are.
Oh, what happened? I don't know what happened.
All right. How lucky? Okay, he's going to fight you with his fist, so you actually have, like, kind of a chance here.
Oh.
Now, honestly, anybody who's been to a Renaissance fair and seen people in full plate mail, like, sword fighting, they can hit each other as hard as they want and generally don't.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't have full plate.
Yeah, you have a sword.
Yeah.
You're the distinct disadvantage.
Yeah, so this is not going to work out well. I'm 3v1 right now of the guards on me. And I'm also in a doorway, which is going to block. Oh, yeah, I got a nice stab in there, but I'm getting hit from behind.
You are.
So let's...
They are pouring in here.
Surrender.
All right, so for nearly slaying that man, let's see what the ransom is.
Yeah.
You're going to get tossed in prison.
I'm probably going to get thrown in for the rest of my days.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's not going to end well for me. But geez.
Yeah, I am curious to see if this plays out. So when you get thrown in prison,
here we go.
Caught you. Now you'll pay for all your crimes.
What?
Oh my God, Henry!
I didn't kill that person right there.
Do you want some lentil mash? I've got more in my pants if you need it.
Oh, all right.
Watch it. I have a secret task. I love that response. What situation does that not get you out of? Hold on. I know it looks
failed.
like I butchered that man, and his blood is all over my clothes, but I have a secret task.
Won't end well for you.
The blood is literally all over me right now. Oh man.
All right. So what happens when you do get tossed in prison?
Well, let's see. I mean, it's not going to end the game like it did previously. It's gonna progress time. I'm gonna lose nourishment. I'm gonna.
Spoken like a true millennial, Henry. Put me in jail then. Do it, pig. Come on. I have more Instagram followers than you.
Why? There's an army marching this way. If it's Sigismund, we'll need.
Okay, so it's kind of advanced to the next.
It does.
Point.
So that's what I was trying to talk to earlier. Is that regardless of what you do, the plot will advance.
Sure.
And you can
So they imprisoned you in a stable or something of the like. They threw you out of the horses, and now there's an army on the way, and this one guard has taken pity on you.
But you also I'm not going to go to that cutscene because
spoilers.
Because that's longer than we're supposed to go. But even regardless of what happened there, my reputation in this town is permanently affected from my actions here.
Yes.
So
that's very interesting.
If I slay a townsperson in a town, then
they're not gonna like you.
The guards and the like will not respond well. If I attack someone, if I steal from them in a tavern, then that person's NPC behavior will be forever changed, and they might not come to that tavern anymore because they had a bad experience there. So it's really interesting how the AI is programmed from the NPCs is that their behavioral modifications based on the experiences that you kind of intercept their daily habits with.
So a lot of intricacy to dig into here. Unfortunately, we are out of time. Will Powers, Deep Silver, thank you so much for coming by and giving us a look at Kingdom Come Deliverance. This game is out in about 6 hours.
Perfect.
It's exciting.
Well, thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And please, if you have any comments, questions, then we are here to answer them.
For sure. You can also rewatch the stream. We answered a lot of stuff. And for all things Kingdom Come Deliverance, we're going to have a lot more content going up on IGN, as well as a full review coming later in the week. But thank you so much for stopping by. And for all things RPGs and giant single-player worlds, keep it right here on IGN.